My name is Malika and I will look at the science denialism in two different areas of science. By looking at this cycle, we will notice the main purpose of my research. By comparing AIDS denialism and climate change denialism, we can notice the similarities and differences between climate science denialism and health science denialism. First, I would like to talk about climate change denialism. Climate change denialists believe that there are not enough scientific evidence to show existence of the global warming. We see the involvement of the politician. For example, one of these politicians is former President of the United States, George W. Bush, and also so many of the Republican Senates. One of the main interests for denying global climate change is economic competitiveness and economic interests. For example, in Norway, people and government ignore climate change because of their oil-dependent economy. Climate change denialists uh, include the specific part of the research that have been done by scientists to show their ideas. Also, I will look at the climate change denialism into two countries, USA and Norway. My second part of the research is AIDS denialism. AIDS denialists believe that HIV is not origin of AIDS. We see the involvement of the politician in AIDS denialism. One of these politicians is former president of South Africa, Thabo Mbeki. I will look at the denialism in Africa because Africa is one of the biggest countries that we see AIDS denialism in it. AIDS denialists believe that the antiretroviral drugs doesn't have a positive effect in prevention of transferring of AIDS from parents to offspring. AIDS denialism AIDS denialists use conspiracy theories to show their ideas. This conspiracy theory divides into two parts. The first part is genocide theory. In genocide theory, they convince people that government made these drugs to kill minorities, such as African Americans. Second part is censorship theory. They convince people that government doesn't tell them everything, so there is something about these drugs that they don't know, so they should not use it, and they should not believe whatever government says. The other main interest of AIDS denialists is economic interest. For example, in countries such as Africa, people are suffering from poverty and housing problems, unemployment, lack of food, and because of that, governments believe AIDS is not as important as those issues. Also, AIDS denialists focus on the scientific errors to show their ideas. Next, I would like to talk about my method to do this research. I gathered information from different articles to compare and contrast AIDS denialism and climate change denialism. Also, I have three articles from climate change denialism and three articles from AIDS denialism. What is the difference of my research from pre-existing research? In my research, I will compare and contrast two different forms of the science denialism from two different fields of the science. The previous research only did the research in one part of um, science, but now I will combine these two different parts of the science to show the similarities and differences. This research shows the general similarities and differences between these type of denialism. What is the value of this research? I hope this research gives information to young generation about these two important topics. As we know, AIDS and climate change are very dangerous and it can affect our life in a bad way, so we should prevent them. Also, I would like people to understand the involvement of the politician in this denialism and notice that they are trying to deny these important issues for their own profits. And also, I hope that this research helps people to understand general characteristics of the science denialism. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching my presentation.